a hard-fought game and some tense moments down the stretch. How did you guys able to manage to hang on and overcome some of that sluggishness maybe in the third quarter?
Our own get stops, get rebounds, and I think that translated and held us down, able to pull off about 20-point win.
Yeah, what were they doing in the second half? Maybe you had an easy, I want to say easy time of it, but the first half the offense was producing more. So what was happening there in that second half?
I mean, I think we were getting some looks that we just obviously weren't hitting threes, but also they started switching, changing up their defensive scheme a bit, and we just weren't reading it like we usually do. But we know we'll clean that up, we'll learn from it, and we'll bounce back next time.
All right, so now what does it mean to get off to this good start, to get your first conference win after 3 tough games against SEC opponents? Unfortunately, not picking up a win in those, but you get the conference win to start things off with.
Yeah, any win in the A-10 is a good win. It's a really good conference this year, and any win, even if it wasn't pretty like tonight, we're going to take it and we're going to celebrate it. So
you got a couple of road games coming up with a tough trip. You know what those trips are like. So what does that weekend look like for you guys?
We're heading out to Fordham, and then we'll stay there. Fordham. And then we'll stay there and play UMass. So it'll be a long trip for us on the road, but we're excited. We get to cheer on the men, too, at UMass, so we're ready to go.
Sounds good. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck. We'll see you next time. All right, that's Addie Budnick. We're going to bring Coach Russell in here for just a minute. Get him to come sit down with us and visit as the Spiders get a win here, 55-37. Richmond has the fewest number of points allowed at 37, and Coach Russell will join us here. Aaron, some tense moments out there in the second half. I know they didn't cut it down too far, but you were having a little difficulty scoring offensively during their run. Obviously, they only had a 2-point second quarter. Your third quarter kind of equaled that, but that second quarter was a huge difference in the game for you today.
We thought we were great in the second quarter. I think obviously we had a lot of offensive fouls. I think we had 11 in the first half and maybe 3 more in the second half. So when you have 14, 15 turnovers just off, not being able to control your body, not being able to control the dribble. It looks at 24 turnovers, and that looks astoundingly really, really bad. A few of those I remember as being maybe some poor passes, maybe a couple poor decisions, but we just aren't doing a very good job of taking care of the ball and some of these offensive fouls you take when it's at the basket, a bang bang, a charge. Some of these are just really, really bad. And obviously the scout is out on the officials, for the officials, and for everybody else of what they need to look for. We've got to be a lot better. I've got to be a lot better with that. But you're right. I just thought we had a really, really struggled scoring the basketball. Obviously, some of their switches. I did not think we read in our offense very well at all today, and I'll take responsibility for that.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you worked on in practice, it seemed like a little bit from yesterday, was you wanted to go fast. You were trying to want to go as fast as you can, at least against this team, and it seemed like it worked for you there a little bit early.
Yeah, I thought when we got stops and did the first part right, I thought when we got stops and that turned into, I thought we did an excellent job on the boards, for Smith being the rebounder that she is, to only give up the 1 offensive rebound, 7 for the game when they missed, almost 40 shots. I was really, really proud of our kids with that. It just didn't turn into transition, or at least us capitalizing on transition the way that we had hoped and the way that we had kind of intended. And, maybe some of the offensive fouls kind of makes you play a little bit more hesitant. If some of those shots I thought in the third quarter go in, I thought we, for as much as we didn't move the ball well in the second quarter, I thought we moved the ball well in the third quarter. We just didn't get rewarded for it with made shots, and sometimes that can be a little bit deflating. But we got to be better. Again, I think so much of this right now just came down to how we just were not reading their we were not reading the defense's decisions very well today.
Well, Addie had 14 points all in the first half. Dugan, of course, had a huge fourth quarter for you, picking up 7 points in that fourth quarter. But what does it mean when Addie can get like 14, 15, 16 points to go along with Dugan and Olstrom as well?
Yeah, that was working in that second half. Obviously, you've seen the kid shoot the ball for a long time, just like I have, and those shots look pretty pure. I thought even the one she missed in the second half, I thought was going in. She's just able to stretch the floor, but I just think we're so much better with her on the floor. I think what people don't see in the box court doesn't do her justice, of just contesting at the basket and making them do some different things offensively and just calming us a little bit. I thought she did a really, really good job with that. And, I know we had played a few different rotations today and tried to get the bench going a little bit, and we probably, we got to get that. We got to get the bench going a little bit. I got to do a better job with that. And, I think if we do that, we have the talent there. We have things going. We just didn't get that ball going through the basket and didn't make the right decisions. Then I thought even when we did, we just didn't finish open threes the way that we can.
I think two things that are probably very important, obviously. You had the 3-game stretch against the SEC teams. Could have come away with a win against Alabama, but dropped those 3 games. But you get a conference opening win, so there is that. You break that skid, and then you get the first game of the conference season out of the way with a win on that side.
And again, you just got to keep stacking wins, right? We talked about just today about stacking possessions, and maybe you kind of slog through this a little bit, but you stack quality possessions, and all of a sudden, you have a 23-point lead at the half, and you feel upset about it, right? And you feel like it could have been more, should have been more. But you just got to keep stacking games. You're right. In maybe a little bit of a disservice to us with the flow. I thought gained some confidence, but at the same point, I think we, and especially I, probably the more I've watched the Alabama game, just get so upset about it and just a missed opportunity that you kind of had to wait a little bit. It didn't feel like there was a bounce back because it had been so long, and with the break and everything. Been doing this long enough to know that sometimes that first game back is just not always the smoothest game. So it's always good to get that one out of the way. But I know that we're better than what we showed today, and I trust that we will be here the rest of the week.
All right, good luck this weekend.
All right,
Tough trip on the road.
Very much.
We'll look forward to see you when you get back.
All right, thank you.
That's Aaron Rosell, Spiders head coach, coming off the win here. 1-0 now in conference play with his victory over Dayton. As your final is 55-37. Spiders with the victory. So now 2 games on the road for this Spider squad. They will go out to Fordham and UMass. Come back here on January the 8th to take on George Mason, and that's a 6 o'clock contest.